24.
24? I'm literally just doing some research and I'm rereading most of the articles that I've read for my dissertation because I feel like I changed my mind about certain things and now I have to reread to reinform myself of some things, because you know how like when you read something off the bats and you don't have much knowledge of it, you sometimes take in all the information, you're gonna regurgitate literally everything that you're reading. So I'm rereading so that I know what I actually want to say, or I better what I have already said, so that's clear and concise. Oh my gosh, I have the biggest bone to pick when it comes to panel discussions. When are we as people gonna start telling people that they're wasting our time and that they're talking absolute nonsense when watching like panel discussions or when you're a part of it? Like there's this tendency, especially in settings where the subject matter is not 100% like, or it doesn't facilitate a space for white people to comment, because it most likely won't be a subject that they are familiar with, because they don't familiarize themselves with like the context to an extent where they can comment, right? And someone will say something and no one will say anything if what the person has said is somewhat incorrect, or if it like the narrative that they're giving basically invalidates other people's experiences, or etc., like different types of things that happen. Like I can't give a particular example for this, but I'm just saying basically no one will question what is being said because of the fact that they themselves aren't in a position where they know enough to question, you know. So they just take the whatever's being said, even if there's nothing that's actually being said by that person, and then from there they like praise that person, like, oh, that was brilliant, whatever. But when you do ask the question, or you ask for clarity, and maybe this person then notices that what they're saying is just like not it, right? Then they continue to perpetrate that narrative that you would like question, and you're just like, what? I'll give an example. We went to a opening of a photography exhibition. I don't know if I've spoken about this, right? It wasn't an opening of a photography exhibition, I'm lying. It was a book launch for Ernest Cole's book, right? And the lady had a couple of things she was saying that my cousin and I, being black bodies in the space, were just like, some of the points that you're making basically invalidates people's experience of apartheid. And then when we asked her this, all she basically said was that we were thinking from an empathy point of view, and we weren't looking at the fact, and that we cannot speak as people who did not experience apartheid because we do not suffer from the after effects of it, whereas we really do. Like, I think anyone who is black, you can't tell black bodies that, or just because you didn't experience this doesn't mean you can't comment on it. Like, in a room full of white people. It's just like, what is the whole point of so many things when you say something like that from a black person to a black person? It literally felt like the person who was speaking was trying to appease white people and make them feel comfortable by basically saying, oh, all of the things that you guys did, great job, it was so fantastic of you. She was basically saying, thank you guys for apartheid.
Why we need to build in order for what we are doing to stand the test of time and to not be morphed. I mean, it will exist, it will stand the test of time regardless of whether or not it's validated by the rest of the world. But to be documented, it's only if we build institutions on the continent. That's you.
So I had a quarterly meetup or something. I forget. It was a meeting with like all the people that are doing research in my university, and I just realized how much I miss being a student. Like, I miss being a student full time, attending things, doing things, being a student. It felt good to see like faces that were familiar as well. Like, it sort of calmed me. And there was a girl who's also like doing her research, and she's also working, and she was talking about the struggle, which #relate. But I hope I'll bump into I'll get back into my research like properly, and I'll start picking up, because I feel like I could be doing better. Honestly, it's not as easy as I'd anticipated, and it's way more work for us in the humanities in terms of research than people think, because it's one thing to develop a theory and stuff like that, or to add on to research, but you have to read through so much, and from what you do read, you also have to bring it into the time period that we're in. Like, you start from the back, and you have to locate it contextually within like wherever you're working. Like, I work in a South African sphere. If what I'm writing on has text in America, that's great, but I still have to relay it as to how it fits into this, what is it, the South African sphere. Like, it's always like, I say this, okay, why have you said that? How does that fit into your research? Like, you have to constantly be thinking about things like that, and it's quite daunting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, especially if it's something that's not really written on. You should sort of sit down and you're like, am I even like doing the right thing? Like, am I making sense?
So he was called a racist and lost his job, and you were called a racist and lost your job. Do I have it right?
That's exactly how it went.
This is horrendous.
It's so many different things. I'm angry, I'm hurt.
It's all so ugly and awful.
You're racist.
That's the attitude.
How many ways can one be a racist?
I've been called so many things in my life. I am so used to being called names, but a racist is one I will not take.
Why am I classified as a racist because I am white?
This is so ridiculous.
Christ. And the problem is, the feeling I used to get when I was called a racist is now gone.
I'm so sick of having to feel bad.
Now it's almost something that I laugh off. It's like, again?
Yeah, honestly, because it's so over the top, it's become comedy to me.
It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's lost its shelf life.
To prove my non-racism to anybody.
That was then.
I don't owe black people, and I will not ever apologize simply for being white.
This is now.
We should all feel bad because of what their ancestors went through.
You're not racist, so stop feeling guilty.
You've gone through some, white guilt indoctrination.
I'm so sick of having to feel bad.
The time for that is over.
Stop apologizing.
We will not be collectively punished for the supposed sins of our ancestors.
Nor should any of us pretend to feel guilty about something we know perfectly well we didn't do.
Because it's history.
White people are supposed to feel guilty.
I have more guilt than you. I hate myself more than you.
Stop!
Tick tock, tick tock. We're not sorry.
I went to see Whiteface by Candace Braitz at Goodman Gallery. It ran from the 9th of March to the 19th of April 2023. She unpacked whiteness in a satirical fashion. It consisted of her in a series of blonde wigs and zombie contact lenses. What I liked about the show is that she brilliantly touched on issues that deal with whiteness in a way that touches on white fragility, really. My only critique though is the use of the term whiteface, because it once again does what it shows that white people steal from others. Like, it's doing what white people do best, which it stole from the idea of blackface. And if anything, blackface has a historical significance, and I feel like it could have been called something else other than whiteface because of the historical significance that comes with the term blackface. Why did she call it whiteface? That's my only critique of this. I just can't seem to get past. And yes, she's explained why and everything, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it serves as a historical, blackface has a historical significance, and I feel like whiteface was just not the term she should have used. If anything, she's just stealing or riding on the name of blackface to then make her thing feel a bit more relevant, which, if anything, what she's touching on is very relevant today, but she could have done it in a different manner by naming the show something else. Good morning. Just doing admin, and then I'm gonna start with my work for my dissertation. Stories. ask him when I get home. Because we are not allowed to discuss art.
When that time comes or that age comes, now you're like, oh my god, oh my god.
Hi, Kesan. I'm just complaining about the fact that we live in this country. When you have KPMP. No. Then when I'm supposed to be listening.
So are these like the fruit?